He just heard Birmingham is nice this time of year. That's the line. That's the tease. And if you know anything about Jakob Ingebrigtsen, you know he doesn't post things like that by accident. After nearly a full year away from a start line, after surgery, after months of silence, Jakob Ingebrigtsen is finally coming back to race. But here's the real question. Can a two-time Olympic champion coming off Achilles surgery with 0 races in 2026 actually walk into the European Championships and medal? Stick around, because this comeback story has a lot more layers than it looks like on the surface. Before we get into what's happening next, let's talk about why you can trust this story. Because there has been a lot of noise around Jakob's health over the past year. This is not a rumor, this is not a leak. This comes straight from Reuters, and it has been independently confirmed by Let's Run, Canadian Running Magazine, and Yahoo Sports, all reporting within the same 24-hour window. Jakob Ingebrigtsen is officially set to compete at the European Athletics Championships in Birmingham. Running from August 10th to August 16th, 2026, his spokesperson, Espen Skuland, confirmed the news directly to Norway's public broadcaster NRK, stating that Jakob is looking forward to being back and that it is, in his words, a huge relief. This will be his first race of the entire 2026 season. And it will be his first competition since the World Championships in Tokyo back in September of 2025. Which, if you remember, did not go the way anyone expected. So yes, this is real, it is confirmed, and it is happening in just a few weeks. Now let's break down exactly how we got here. The fall of 2025, let's rewind for a second. Because to understand how big this comeback really is, you need to understand just how brutal last year actually was for Jakob. 2025 started as one of the most dominant seasons of his career. Ingebrigtsen opened the year by breaking the world indoor record in the mile, clocking 3 minutes and 45.14 seconds. He backed that up with world indoor titles in both the 1500 meters and the 3000 meters. At that point, it looked like Jakob was on track for one of the greatest seasons ever run by a middle distance athlete. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, he announced he would not race for the rest of the year. His Achilles tendon, which had been quietly bothering him for a while, had become too much of a risk to push through. For months, middle distance running had a Jakob-shaped hole in it. But then, against a lot of advice, and against a lot of caution, he made the decision to return for the World Championships in Tokyo. He said it himself. If he sat this one out, he knew he would regret it. It was brave. It just wasn't enough. In the 1500 meters heats, Jakob finished 8th in his heat, running 3 minutes and 37.84 seconds. A time that would be respectable on almost any other day, but on that day, it wasn't enough to advance. His body simply could not respond when the pace shifted in the closing laps, a direct result of 6 months without racing. He regrouped and tried again in the 5,000 meters. This time, he made the final. But in the final, he finished 10th, crossing the line in 13 minutes and 2 seconds. Again, a solid time on paper, but nowhere close to what Jakob Ingebrigtsen is capable of on his best day. The surgery and the silence after that Tokyo performance, it became clear that rehab and rest weren't going to fix the underlying problem. In February of 2026, Jakob went under the knife, undergoing surgery on the sheath of his Achilles tendon. For months after that, the updates were quiet. Rehab, lifestyle changes, elliptical sessions, stationary bike rides that, in his own words, were destroying his quads and his legs for days afterward. He leaned heavily on wearable tech, tracking heart rate and lactate threshold to monitor his recovery without a stopwatch to measure it against. In an interview with Runner's World back in May, Jakob was refreshingly honest about where his head was at. He said, quote, "Everything went to shit," unquote, referring to his 2025 season. He admitted that racing wasn't even his main goal right now. Training consistently and just getting his body back to a stable place mattered more than any result. For a lot of fans, it genuinely looked like Jakob might not race again until 2027. The announcement, and that's exactly what makes this news so big. Because instead of waiting another full year, Jakob has decided the time is now. Birmingham is the target. And based on his own social media tease, he's not just showing up quietly, he's making a statement. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because Jakob's history at the European Championships is honestly absurd. He has won the double, both the 1500 meters and the 5000 meters. At the last 3 editions of these championships, going back to Berlin in 2018, Munich in 2022, and Rome in 2024, he was only 18 years old the first time he pulled it off. This man has enough European Championship medals that he probably needs a second trophy case just to store them. But 2026 is different, even though he's technically eligible to defend both titles. It's widely expected that he will only compete in one event, and as of right now, it still isn't clear which one that will be. What we do know is that this will be his first race of the season, and his first competition since that surgery. The rivalry that almost wasn't now, let's talk about the storyline everyone assumed we'd get in Birmingham, because it's not happening. And that actually changes everything. Earlier this year, Josh Kerr broke the mile world record at the London Diamond League, running an incredible 3 minutes and 42.66 seconds. That time shattered the previous record held by Hicham El Garoui since 1999. What made it even wilder is that Kerr called his shot months in advance. He literally built a campaign around it, called Project 222, referencing 222 seconds, the exact target time for the mile. And then he went out and hit it, almost to the second. This was a record that Jakob himself had been vocal about wanting. So naturally, everyone expected fireworks between the two of them in Birmingham. But it turns out, Josh Kerr won't even be there. Kerr has confirmed he is representing Team Scotland at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow instead, choosing to chase a Commonwealth title over a European one this summer. So there will be no rematch, no head-to-head, no direct confrontation between these two in Birmingham. In a way that actually removes pressure from Jakob. He doesn't have to prove himself against his biggest rival on his first race back. But it also raises a different question. Can Jakob still make a statement even without Kerr standing across the line from him? So here's where things stand. Jakob Ingebrigtsen's comeback is officially confirmed. The injury layoff, the surgery, the months of uncertainty, all of that is now behind him. At least for the moment. Birmingham is the real test. This is his first race back, so there is genuinely no way to know exactly what version of Jakob shows up. But everything we're seeing in training suggests this is not a man who's just showing up to make an appearance. He's showing up to compete. So I want to know what you think. Do you believe Jakob runs the 1500 meters, the 5000 meters, or somehow attempts the double again? And more importantly, do you think he walks away from Birmingham with a medal? Drop your prediction in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video and subscribe, because there is a lot more track and field coverage coming your way this season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.